concrete walls. There's a place for us where we could go, where we could be alone. Between city lights, we don't have to hide. I wanna go, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? I can't understand why we can't hold hands, but they don't know what we have is real love. Aren't you sick and tired of having to hide? I know a place, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Livestream. It is Monday night, and oh, wow! I found $10. Thank you. It's Monday night. It's time for Q&A with you and me. How's everybody doing tonight? Oh, you ready? It's not going to be as exciting as yesterday's. I gotta shave my beard. Yesterday's live stream, I got to work on some of my comedy routine material around the theme of the 4th of July and imperialism. It seemed to go over well. And we'll be finding out how the internet felt about it in about 2 weeks. And we'll see if I still have to make a big public. I should probably make the public apology now, just to get it. Just to make you cover my butt. I'm really. Well, the things that I said in yesterday's live stream were insensitive. I didn't realize that English people actually had feelings. It's a common mistake. I see now that it's not okay to joke about those things, and I am learning from it and becoming a better person. I know it's not a real YouTube apology if you don't cry, but I just haven't got tears in me. How you guys doing today? I'm shifting gears is what I'm doing. You know, it used to be that people thought I disliked Australians. I don't know why they would think that. Now apparently I'm picking on the English. Australians should really be on my side. Just leave the Brits alone. It's like leave Britney alone, right? Leave Brits alone. No, Bobby Bags. No one actually got mad. I'm just joking. No one actually got mad. No one did. I'm just joking that, anytime you say anything potentially controversial on the internet, there's a chance that this could be the one that blows up on you. I did make Independence Day jokes, Dominic Clifton. Now, Germans. Oh, sorry, Mr. Stubbs. I'm not going there. Chris Crocker, the Leave Britney Alone guy. Somebody said leave the Brits alone. I thought of Leave Britney Alone just randomly. Chris Crocker, the Leave Britney Alone guy, turned out to be right. If you think about it. Anyway, welcome to the live stream, everybody. We talk about FPV mostly, and then occasionally I work on bits from my upcoming comedy special. Speaking of me being canceled, can I show you something? It's my live stream. You can't really stop me. Did you guys see this? Hang on. Desktop. Unmute. Can I full screen this?
FPV. Great. You'll need about this much.
Here we go. Let's see if I can full screen it. Full screen. Can I full screen and volume?
For getting the wrong parts. This much for crashes, and about this much if we paid you $10 an hour for every hour you spent to try to figure things out. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be spending a lot of time doing that.
You'll be spending a lot of time doing
did
that.
I mention your wife will
Your
soon
wife?
go from this
Oh,
to
baby.
this? Happy wife,
Oh, I love my
happy life,
quadcopter
right?
so much more than my
If
wife.
you're a self-taught droner, you'll probably be a loner. No offense.
Oh. If you're a self-taught droner, you'll probably be a loner. No offense. Wow, they're coming straight for me. I mean, technically, I do have a wife and a family. Technically. So I'm not technically a loner, but I do literally sit in my basement every day and fly around my yard. Just coming straight for me.
The truth of the matter is this. Learning FPV is incredibly hard.
It's true.
After you spend months trying to learn it on your
Months.
own, following random videos and
Random articles,
until you stumble across the info you'll need, you'll then have to make a gamble on what parts to get. And
Gamble.
after you get the parts, you find out they're actually
Ah!
not compatible.
They're not
Which is
compatible.
probably
Oh, you see his problem. Here's his problem. They're not compatible. He's using the wrong screwdrivers to pick up those things.
about the same time your wife will come to the same conclusion.
You son of a...
about
Look
your
at that.
relationship.
Look at that. Look at that scorn. Look at the look on her face. Where did she go wrong? She's like, I used to be married to a man, and now what even are you? I don't even recognize you, she's thinking. Ugh.
Conclusion about your relationship. So,
Is there no hope?
Actually,
Oh,
there
is.
Learn FPV is here to save your money,
Save
grow,
you.
and possibly the best part,
The best part,
relationship.
your relationship.
Learn FPV is an online course that teaches you how to get started in FPV. It combines over a decade of
FPV experience. That's interesting. How does it combine a decade of FPV experience? Because I'm pretty sure FPV, I guess technically FPV did exist in 2011, just barely.
Thousands of hours of research and our best advice and training to get you from this guy to
Ah,
Before I
oh.
learned FPV, I never saw him.
Oh, well, I'm not sure I freeze framed. I mean, what is that face supposed to mean? What is that face? That is not the face of a man who's watching a Bardwell video. Listen, if you make that face while you're watching my videos, I don't want to know about it.
He spent days in the basement trying to learn. Now,
I feel like they're coming right at me.
my husband spends way less time searching for answers and much more time impressing me with those amazing FPV skills.
That's right.
Okay, here's where you know this is bullshit BS. No one's wife is impressed with your FPV skills, guys. She's not. Maybe if your wife is also into FPV, she's impressed. She's not. He spends days in the basement searching for answers. Yes, come to my channel. Come to my channel. Join me in the basement. Search for answers.
Learn FPV changed my entire destiny.
His
when it
entire
came to
destiny.
FPV.
Oh, when it came to
It taught
FPV.
me so much, like how to get started
How to
in
get
a simulator,
started.
mistakes to
yeah.
avoid, and tips to follow. What each part of the drone does. Then it instilled me
It
with the
instilled me.
confidence to start my first build by giving me a list of parts I needed to buy. They even gave me some amazing discounts to thousands of FPV items, so I ended up saving even more money. They also have an amazing free bonus of giving you access to an entire Part 107 prep course. This course teaches you how to pass the Part 107 exam that is required in order to fly drones commercially. They have over 99% success rate, and let me tell you,
The ladies love it.
when you can fly a drone legally.
Do they? Do they? Ladies, do you love it when they fly drones legally? I don't think. I mean, maybe this is what I'm doing wrong. This is what I'm doing wrong.
I always thought I wanted a bad boy, but a certified and licensed boy flying a drone, that's almost too much to handle.
Oh, is it?
So, what are you waiting for? Click the link to learn more about this course and get to learn FPV like never before. Hey guys, don't waste any more time.
Don't waste. Listen, don't waste any more time watching my videos. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Trying to look up answers.
Click the link to
As much as I think this commercial is hilarious, I actually endorse this product. I made a video. This is the FPV Unlocked course. I made a video. I didn't call it that. Yeah, I made a video about this course a while back where I basically said, you know, more or less the same thing, that if you want this stuff spoon-fed to you instead of having to sort of fight for it, FPV Unlocked is pretty good. But after I watched that commercial, I was like, hey, I'm saying nice things about you. I'm like, hey, yeah, you know, they organize the information. Some people prefer to find the information themselves. Some people would rather pay to have it organized. Cool. You know, there's room for everybody out here. Then I watched that commercial and they were like, don't be a stupid loser in your basement watching Bardwell videos. Instead, be a cool, sexy man over at FPV Unlocked. I'm like, hey, there's room for us stupid losers. Anyway. Hey, if you buy that course, use my affiliate link. I'm not joking. I have one. I get a. The interesting thing about courses is, unlike retail products, there is no product cost for courses. There's only production time. So the affiliate percentage is usually way better. Anyway, welcome to the live stream. I thought I would open the live stream with a little bit of comedy there. So here's what we're gonna do. This is my main screen here. I'm gonna be keeping an eye on your chats. Bubby FPV's in the chat. Dominic Clifton, yikes. Got some real luminaries in the chat. Hope you're doing well. I'll be keeping an eye out for your questions. Baldman says I'm wasting time. This whole thing is wasting time, dude. I just waste time and collect super chats. That's live streaming in a nutshell. Speaking of super chats, if you want to leave a super chat to make sure I get to your message, hit the $sign down here. And we'll get with this one from Borked in just a minute. We also, yeah, you know it's true. We also have these folks over here on my main screen. Happy birthday, Ghost Branch FPV, one of the moderators on my Discord server. And if you want to get on my Discord server, how do you do, fellow kids? If you want to get on my Discord server, you can join my Patreon. That's how you get the invite. I'm not sure I want to know what Kermit's doing here. So, let's take some questions. OGK Kid says, I love how honest you are about this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm half joking. but I'm a realist at heart. I try not to have too many illusions about what's really going on. Do you need to buy more licenses if you want to switch from 24K PWM to 48K PWM with the JESC configurator? I don't think so, Spencer Walsh. The license actually is only for the telemetry, the bidirectional D-shot. The PWM is actually free, I believe. So, Joseph Tahari, that was not a fake Joshua Bardwell account joining the beginner FPV group. That was me. I clicked join. Then I saw your questions, and I was like, I don't want to do that today. So I just backed out. Maybe I'll come back. I didn't want to type answers to questions. I just wanted to, like, join the group. I don't know. I'm lazy. What can I say? Ori Foxer FPV in the Discord wants to know, I accidentally forgot to put my antenna on my R9M flashed to Express LRS was on for 2 minutes. Would you trust it? I mean, whether it was damaged, either it was damaged or it wasn't, Ori Foxer. Test the range. If it was damaged, you'll have low RSSI and bad range kind of immediately. I mean, it's not going to be a mystery. Either it'll be fine or it'll have bad range. Is UAV Future streaming right now, Josh Feltz? Is he streaming right now? Oh, he is. What's he doing? It's a dog. Oh, man. I got to get my game together. I don't have a dog. Let's leave him. Okay, let's leave him a super chat. I'm going to leave him a super chat.
Check,
now,
check, mic check. There we go.
I was just
Hopefully
getting started.
working. Let me know.
I'm going to put him on mute real quick. Oh, I can hear him, though. I don't want to hear it. Okay, what are we going to super chat Stu? What are we going to super chat him? I wish I could do a poll, but the poll, I would have to pick the, yeah. What should we super chat him? Let's create a poll, and let's see what we're going to super chat him. What are our choices? Ask a question. What should we super chat Stu? Okay, oi. You what, mate? I know that's not where he's from. What else? What else should we super chat him? Let's see. I'm looking in the chat for things that we should super chat Stu. G'day! G'day! Okay, g'day. Yeah, okay, good. G'day. Hey, how about this? Hey there, Stu. Nice to see you streaming. Nice to see you. Okay, okay. All right. Add option, okay. Let's see. Help you. Let's see. Crikey. Got any sausages? Snack for his dog. Throw a keg on the Barbie. Best live stream of 2021. Only $99. Okay. That's a good one. All right, I'm going to put that up, and we'll wait for that to finish, and we'll take some more questions, and then we'll go back and we'll super chat Stu. You guys can vote in the poll. I don't hate Aussies. I don't hate Aussies. Stu says good day, right? Does he say good day? Good day. Welcome to you. Yeah, he says that. Something with sausage, huh? Sausage. Drop bears. What did Carbon Cage say? I don't see Carbon Cage's choice. What do you think of the motors Axis is releasing? Asks Bannister Post. I'm finding their naming confusing, just like T-Motor. Also, their Whoop Cinewhoop looks crazy. Yeah, I have that. It's upstairs on my porch. I don't know a lot about their motors. I'm hoping that they'll do better. T-Motor has had some quality issues. Perhaps related to these guys leaving and forming Axis. I can't find Like a Axis motor AF223. Where's this Cinewhoop? Can't find it. Oh, he's talking me up now. Oh, hang on. He's talking about me?
Your future Stu, thank you. Love you, mate. And thank you so much for tuning in as well. And tagging me with that little bit. You know, it helps me. It's a lot easier to find those comments there.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're not going to just spend the whole live stream listening to Stu. I'm going to be doing... I can't find a picture of this Cinewhoop from Axis Motors, but it's a Cinewhoop designed to carry a full-size GoPro. I think it's 2-inch props, maybe 2.5. I think it's 95 millimeter in size, I think. And it's an octo. It's a coaxial octo. So how about that? Oh, here we go. I have it. I haven't flown it yet. Check this stuff out. Can you freaking believe this? Can you freaking believe this? Can't wait to fly it. It's designed to carry a full-size GoPro, but be in this small form factor. I think the question that this has to answer is, why would I pick this instead of a 3-inch Cinewhoop? That's the question it has to answer. And as I go into the review, that's what I think I'm going to be considering. It certainly is cool. It's clever. Let's check the, the poll is, G'day is ahead, but not by much. So best live stream of 2021, only $99, could still catch up. So we're going to give it another second to catch up. Twice as much noise as the other quads. I wonder if it can handle, could it theoretically handle a failed motor? When I had the hexacopter, the Flywheel hexacopter, it could not handle a failed motor because Betaflight's mixer is basically not designed. I was shocked. But then when I thought about it, I realized it was true. I would think that the quadcopter's mixer could handle a failed motor. That motor would not make thrust, and then the other motors would kind of compensate for it. But actually, it doesn't work that way. Dominic Clifton, you're here, and you know this stuff intimately. Chime in if you have anything to add or correct. But what happens in Betaflight when one motor fails? Well, normally you just death roll. But let's imagine you have an octocopter. One motor fails. That motor begins to sag, and the flight controller cranks up the throttle on that motor. The throttle on the failed motor hits 100%. At this point, the next thing that happens is Betaflight pulls down the throttle on the other motors to try and balance out the failed motor, which cannot happen because the motor is not making any thrust. You can't balance. You can't balance nothing with anything. So basically, because that one failed motor reaches saturation, all the other motors go to zero, and the whole thing will just basically not fly. What it would need is a function where it detects the failed, it sees the motor go to saturation and stay there, and it says, oh, well, this motor has failed. And it just pretends that motor doesn't exist. But Betaflight doesn't do that. So I found that with the Flywheel hexacopter, it couldn't fly with one missing motor, even though a hexacopter should be able to. And I wonder if we've got these coaxial octos, whether the same thing would happen. It might depend on whether you're running it as a quadcopter or an octo mixer. Because you can run a coaxial octo with a quadcopter mixer. You just run two ESCs off the same signal output. And it works. In that case, one failed motor, it'd just be like a single motor making half the thrust, and I think the thing would keep flying. But if you're actually running it off an octo mixer, then a single failed motor would result in the whole thing going down. Very interesting. I'll have to test that. EO new 87435DS in the Discord says RG Pilot does exactly what you're saying. It detects a motor failure condition and removes the motor from the mix. Yeah, I mistakenly assumed that the mixer would just detect, it would just compensate automatically for the failed motor. But actually what happens is that compensation is to shut the whole quad down unless it actually explicitly detects that the motor has failed. So that was educational for me. Okay, it looks like G'day has the win at 38%. We're going to go on over to Stu's live stream. Let's put him back
at least
on.
it's not too deep, and the water doesn't look too dirty as well. If you did lose your drone, you could just wade through there.
We're gonna
and get
leave
it.
him
Not
a
if it was
super
definitely not
chat.
Australia, but so you're probably not going to die. I would not wade out here. This looks a lot deeper out there. I don't think I'd want to go get my drone there.
Let's
but in
see,
that
how
little
much should we
creek
leave
near the
him?
bridge, absolutely. Here's a Bartlett.
Let's do 20.
Here,
50's a lot.
Brown pants on today. Thank you very much, Kiz, there for your donation. He says nothing really to say, just sharing the love, and straight back at you, Kiz. Thank you so much for everything that you've done in this hobby. We are truly blessed to have every single person that is in
All right,
here.
let's wait till he
Truly
sees it.
blessed to have you as well, Kiz. We're going to give Charlie a little snack, and I also want to say...
Yeah, Metal Dirt Skin says it should be like if runaway and motor's greater than 4, then just ditch that motor.
How
Yeah,
people have changed their lives
absolutely.
as well. Like, Kiz, has FPV improved your life? Because
And that's what RG
I know
Pilot
that
does.
When you started here, and I hope that I helped get you into this hobby, you've become such an integral member of this as well. So thank you so much there, Kiz, for the donation. Oh, we got JB sharing the love as well. He's saying, "G'day!" Sending through a huge donation, the top chat of the day. Thank you very much, Joshua Bardwell. Look, he sent through the orange right there. Thank you very much, JB. And you know what? Why he's here? I don't know if JB's ever watched this.
I have.
But we actually have
Okay.
a special clip that segment.
Oh,
And
there we
because you might be watching this part right now.
I am watching right now.
We're going to play it right now. Kiz,
Okay.
if you could, can you please upload your clip that if it is ready? And trust me, JB, if you're streaming this, it's parent friendly, but just. And we've also got RC Fritters FPV sending through
All right.
super chat as well, saying, mate. Good to see you again, Stu. You too, JB. Hey, look, I've got to ask JB while you're here. I am working on a secret project.
Oh, man.
Can I include you in it? I can't really
I
say
don't know.
too much more. I asked XJet the other day. He's like, "Yeah, that's cool, man. We can work on something like that." Am I cool to use you in my secret project?
I don't know.
JB?
It
Please
depends
let
on
me
what
know
it is.
in the
I'm not
chat
agreeing
as
to.
well.
I'm not
What I
agreeing
wanna show
to
people
something I don't
is
even know what it
check
is.
this out.
All right, here we go.
Because if I go down to a live stream general chat, a stew in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. This is the video we're going to be watching today. This is the early.
All right.
Clip that. It's clip that.
Okay,
yeah.
Stu's gonna
And
play
I
this
should
just
say,
for
if
me.
You've got kids watching. Be prepared. This might not be something that you want to let them see.
all right.
Always put subtitles on. It's time for clip that, boys. We're getting it. We're bringing it in early for JB because
45 seconds. All right, let's watch it. Then we'll go back to the stream.
That's a lot more than usual.
Grip that.
Boys and girls, what has everyone thoughts on coming on, guys?
Oh my God.
To be honest, it has
No,
been
no. From-
something that I
Why?
had great pleasure in watching. I'm not going to spoil what happened in the end, but it was apparently it was very loud. All right, jumping back over here. Do you guys want to watch Bruce Fisted? Let's see if we get this.
All right. That's just silly. That's just silly. I don't. Thank you, Stu. Thank you, Stu. We'll get back to my stream now. Who was it? Eovnu pointed out that he thinks that they are using an octo mixer here because the props appear to be counter-rotating, and if it was using a quad mixer, the props would not be counter-rotating. If indeed it is using an octo mixer, then I predict that a single failed motor brings it down, which you would not expect. So that'll be an interesting thing to test. So I know we're all adults, but it's just silly. It's just silly. You could go find it. Fine V wants to know any word about Kebab FPV's new plug-and-play quads coming out within a few weeks. He replied to my comment saying we'll have a slew of new options that should be significantly better than anything else available now. I do not know anything about that. If he's going to sell plug-and-play quads, that's pretty exciting. He has some good stuff, and if he, I don't know who he's got building it, but that's pretty exciting. What about iFlight's race quad? I am intrigued by this. Let's take a look at it. So this is the iFlight Mach R5, and my first thought is, wait for it, picture's loading. Does this look familiar to anybody? Does that look familiar to anybody? My God. I mean, crib from the best. It's clearly a frickin' 533, frickin', you know, the thing. Frick. Frickin', you know, switchback. Switchback. It's clearly a switchback, right? Like, it looks a little longer than the switchback. Now, to be fair, basically all racing quads look the same. I mean, there's barely anything to them. How have they done the arms? Have they done anything interesting with the arms? Oh my God, it's got a Vista in it. What the F? Okay, I'm sold. Sold forever. Now, these motors, I think, are they their 2507? Surely not. Yeah, so, like, the arms don't have the clever mechanism that the 533 arms do. My guess is this is heavier. It actually looks like it's got the same arm style of mounting as the Sedora, which fine. The horn is not for camera protection, Timber Bunny. It's for turtle mode when you flip over. It's to keep your props out of the grass so you can flip over. Here's the I remember now. Here's the number one reason that when I first saw this, I was like, hey, this is interesting. I might be interested in this, you know. Here's why and I still might be, but I'm so suspicious of this because what flight controller does it use? It uses the iFlight Beast. At least on the DJI one it does. I believe on the non-DJI one it does not. 7075 aluminum plate. Wow. That's interesting. Yeah, okay. So on the analog one, it does not have the iFlight, the Beast stack. There's no freaking way I would trust an all-in-one toothpick-style flight controller on a race rig. There's no world. And I know iFlight says it's good for 50 amps. It's good up to 6S. I don't care. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. If you gave me one of these, the first thing I would do is take it out and I would try to race it as fast as I can. And I would not intentionally just smash it into a wall. But I would try to go fast and crash it. And I just think it wouldn't survive the day. And I would love to be wrong about that. But I'm so suspicious. Now, the analog... But who runs DJI for racing anyway? Am I right? Am I right, guys? For the analog one with... What the hell is going on here? The analog one... Okay. I mean, iFlight knows how to make motors. Now, these are 2506 motors. So now, question number 2. 2506 motors. Who's running 2506 motors for racing? No, nobody. Well, okay, somebody is, right? Let's see. Evan Turner, 2207.5. Min Chan Kim, 2207.5. Alex Campbell. Alex Campbell, Chief Motor. What's his motor? 2207. Who's running 2508 motors, whatever, 2506 motors? Now, don't get me wrong. I think 2506 motors are amazing. Bob Rugi's 5-inch freestyle motors are 2506-ish in size. And clearly iFlight has, again, cribbed from the best. And I don't say that in a disparaging way. iFlight makes great products. iFlight is... here's my favorite thing about iFlight. Before anybody thinks I'm dogging on iFlight, especially iFlight, they're going to be like, why are you out there shit-talking me? It's not like that. Here's my favorite thing about iFlight. iFlight actually makes effing product documentation. They have a Google Drive with all of their manuals, all of their VTX tables, assembly guides, wiring diagrams, CLI dumps, everything for all of their quads. Boom, right here in a Google Drive. And, oh my God, they have a fresh desk, a help desk system where you can get support for their products. Now, some would say that that is an incredibly low bar, that every reputable company should do this kind of thing. And yet, so many companies in FPV just don't effing bother. iFlight tries and succeeds at, and they make good products. But my favorite thing about them is that they go above and beyond for support, because I identify with the people who fail to get support probably more than most, because I end up helping them. So fine. But iFlight 2506 motors. Don't tell me, I mean, surely they just saw what Bob did with his 5-inch motors and they were like, yeah, it seems good. I don't think the iFlight 2506 motors are a good substitute for Rugi's motor, although they are similar in dimension. The iFlight motors are significantly heavier and different, and they're lower in kV. I've said before that they feel more like a 6-inch or a 7-inch motor than a 5-inch motor. But, point being, why did iFlight put the 2506s on that quad and not 2207s? They would have saved, they have to save 20 grams. Why'd they do that? Odd choice. So this is an interesting product. I think it probably flies really well. How much is the analog one? This is the Nebula Nano version. Where's the analog one? How much is it? $315 with a receiver. Hang on. Let's go with Crossfire receiver. $350. Now, my build of the Switchback Pro came in closer to $450. So you're saving about $100. But for that $100 that goes into the Switchback Pro, I got all of just the best of the best. No compromises on the flight controller, no compromises on the ESC. You absolutely could build a Switchback Pro for $350. There's no question. So, on the one hand, like most bind and fly quads, this is a pretty good deal if you count the value of your time. And like most iFlight quads, iFlight bind and flies fly great. It's probably a pretty solid build. I'm skeptical of the DJI version with the all-in-one flight controller. And I'm kind of confused as to why they put 2507s on here instead of 2207s, because like all the other racers in the world seem happy with 2207s. But overall, it's probably pretty decent. So there we go. Sebastian Gramino says, iFlight twin gyros are crap. You almost always get a bad gyro. Yeah, I experienced that on my own GD flight controller. Sorry, guys, cover your kids' ears. It's because of that influence of Stu. I'm saying GD and frickin' tonight. And there's, you know, if you don't love me on my worst day, then you can't handle me on the days when I'm having a good day, right? I learned that from Instagram. Yeah, while doing my PID tuning on my perfect freestyle build, whoops, I had a bad gyro. And the good news is that with the dual gyros, I could just turn it off and then go back to flying, and I have one gyro now. So I'm not sure that the gyro fusion is. Yeah, iFlight is the manufacturer of my flight controller, for the case that wasn't clear. I would consider reviewing this. It probably flies really good. I mean, I bet it flies good. Let's see. People are asking about the iFlight bag. I don't have the iFlight. iFlight, send me the backpack. I want your iFlight. I should just message them right now. I'm not going to put the conversation on stream because I don't want to put my private conversation on stream, but I'm going to do it right now. Should I just buy one, though? I should just buy one. Hang on. I should just buy it. You know, if I just buy it, where can I buy it from? Who has it? I mean, I guess iFlight RC does. $200. All right. We're going to buy it. Yes, hell yeah, we're getting the RGB LED power module. Is it? It's back ordered, isn't it? It's not available right now, is it? Is this the right one? Yeah, okay. Buy now. Oh, I have 2 in the cart. No. I only need 1. Cool. All right. We're going to... Oh, my God. $80 for delivery. Wow. Jiminy Christmas. It's going to be $300. All right. Maybe I'll let iFlight send it to me after all. There are anti-spark XT60s. Always have been. Or whoever asked that question. You can get anti-spark XT60s, but I don't know why you need them. You should. It's weird that you're getting that much sparking. Dominic Clifton says, it's so weird. I've never had a customer return an SP racing board because of a bad gyro. Yeah, Dominic. Yeah, well, some people know how to make flight controllers and with a chef's kiss of quality, and other people do it differently. All right, how do I get rid of this poll? End poll. Oh, I got to end the poll. Sorry, guys. It may be a business expense, but it's still $300. G'day still won the stew. Yes, anti-spark XT60. I'm sure they exist. I know anti-spark XT90s exist. Don't they? Isn't that a thing? Yeah. Oh. Well. Yeah. They exist. I know there are spark arresting XT90s. I guess I'm actually not sure about XT60s. There's XT90s. I could be wrong about XT60s. I've never needed anti-spark XT60s though. You get a little pop, but it's okay. Let me get these super chats that are like 40 minutes old. Let me get these super chats out of the way. Borked, thank you for a $5 super chat. First super chat, and I made you wait like 45 minutes to see it read. I really apologize for that. I hope you're still here. TPU for Ender 3, antenna and camera mounts. Ender 3 can print TPU, even though it's a Bowden tube printer, and you can get great results. You just need to go a little slower. That's the bottom line. You may be printing at maybe 15 or 20 millimeters per second instead of 30 millimeters per second. Cue all the people out there saying, I printed with 80 millimeters per second NinjaFlex TPU on my Ender 3. You're just an idiot if you can't do that. It's all lies. You absolutely can print flexible filament on a Bowden tube printer. You just need to go slower. A little slower. You'll be fine. Yeah, no problem. You don't need to do a conversion. You don't need to convert the Ender 3 to direct drive. In fact, I recently converted my Ender 3 to direct drive. I put the Hemera, the E3D Hemera hot end on it, and the Hemera is so much heavier that now I was having problems with my X gantry sagging, and I ended up putting a dual Z lead screw on it to help support the weight and handle the sagging. So you may not want to convert your Ender to direct drive. There are lighter direct drive options, to be clear. Everybody is 3D printer speed is such a you're waving your body parts around. Such a competition. Everybody's like, I print. First of all, show me a Benchy, okay? If you're like, I print at 80 millimeters per second, show me a Benchy, okay? Or shut up. Because if you print fast and your prints look like crap, it doesn't matter. My Benchys are perfect. The other thing is, I don't know if you know, I mean, a lot of you probably know this. I only recently just learned that, like in Cura, you have the print speed, which is 50 millimeters per second, perhaps, by default. But then walls are only done at 25 millimeters per second. And First layer is 15 milli or whatever. The actual print speed, you're not actually running that fast for all your stuff. It slows it down. Mouse FPV is correct. Mouse FPV points out speed doesn't matter. It's all about acceleration. If you don't have high enough acceleration, you're never going to hit your top speed anyway. That's a really good point, Mouse. I just we're gonna talk a little more about 3D printing because you know. Have you guys heard of the 8-minute Benchy competition? The 8-minute Benchy competition. It's not really. I don't think it's really like a competition per se. But it's a challenge to print a Benchy, and a Benchy usually takes like 2 hours. I mean, on like just default settings. So the challenge is to print a Benchy in under 8 minutes. And you have to just learn. You'll end up potentially with bad quality, but you have to learn so much about your printer to get it to even print a Benchy in 8 minutes. Like, that's not a great looking Benchy, but to finish a Benchy in 8 minutes is amazing. And I watched a video from Teaching Tech about his 8-minute Benchy, and he talked about the importance of acceleration. That if you don't have high enough acceleration, then you're never going to hit your top speeds. So you can set your top speed to umpteen millimeters per second, but if your acceleration is holding you back, it's no good. What's a Benchy? Asks Patio Patterson. A Benchy is a sort of standard test print. It is this little boat. It's just a little boat. And you print it, and it has all these different things to show you where your 3D printer is going wrong. It has overhangs, like in the bow. It has gaps. It has bridging and so forth. And you can figure out how your printer's running by printing a Benchy. It's a benchmark. That's why they call it a Benchy. So, thank you for the question, Bork, and for the excuse to talk 3D printing. RC Ritter FPV, thanks for $2. Chrysostomos Sivaktas, thank you for $5 Australian dollars. What do you think about the TBS Ethics Mambo or just the Mambo? First of all, I've ordered a Mambo. It's coming in the mail whenever it ships, so I will be doing a review of it. How could I not? The Mambo, so it's got Tracer in it and not Crossfire, which is the thing that has been controversial to some people. Oops, is my mic still working? I bumped my mic. Okay, we're good. Some people think that it's really missing the boat by not having Crossfire because Crossfire is so much more popular. Now, it does have a module. It doesn't have a module bay. I'm sorry. Notice that they have conveniently not showed the back of the radio. I don't think that's an accident. Oh, never mind. I take it back. Here it is. My bad. It does have a module bay. I thought I heard people saying that it could only work with the full-size Crossfire. Am I wrong about that? I must be wrong about that, because it clearly has a module bay. Fits your existing TBS Crossfire module through the JR bay. Okay, I'm an idiot, and I'll shut up. It does have a JR bay, so you can put Crossfire in the back. So here are the things that I wonder about this. We'll set aside the argument that, oh, well, people might prefer it had Crossfire built in instead of Tracer. Because there's people out there with the Tango 2 who want a full-size radio and are disappointed that this does Tracer, not Crossfire. The people who own a Tango 2 don't have a Crossfire module, so now they have to buy one. And it's clear that to me that they went Tracer because that's what Trappy thinks the future is. In fact, Trappy has said that, you know, like I asked him, I'm going to try and think about how much of this conversation to reveal, because I don't want to, you know, reveal. I want him to feel okay talking to me in private and not think I'm just going to spew it all over the live stream. But I asked him, you know, compared to Ghost, Tracer uses FLRC at 250 hertz, and that's all it does. It doesn't do low raw. It doesn't do 50 hertz or anything. And the thing is, Tracer could do all those things, except the firmware just doesn't let you do it. Zero hardware change. They could unlock that tomorrow. And I said, Ghost can do FLRC just like Tracer, but Ghost can also do low raw and can go 50, 60, 70 kilometers. And the gist of Trappy's response was that he thinks that FLRC is the wave of the future and low-Ra is going to fade away. So the Mambo having tracer in it reflects that. Now, it's interesting that he thinks that. That's an interesting claim. We'll see if it turns out to be true. Layman Board FPV says, he said he put tracer in it because everybody has a Crossfire module already. Valid. Valid. I mean, the people who have a Tango 2 don't have a Crossfire module already. And they're, in some sense, your customer. The other thing about this Mambo is, does it run Freedom TX? It runs Freedom TX, right? Not Open TX. Let's check that before I, yeah, Freedom TX. Now, Freedom TX is a temporary fork of Open TX. So in theory, this will resolve itself. But right now, the people who have a Tango 2 can't run Ghost. They can't run Express LRS. Well, they can, but not natively, because those things aren't baked into Freedom TX the way they're baked into Open TX. And you can't flash the actually, I take that back. No, I don't take it back. Ghost is in Open TX 2312, but Freedom TX hasn't been rebased against 2312 as far as I know. If my memory is correct, Freedom TX was last based on 239, but I'm not sure about that. So the point being, yeah, I think Express LRS is okay because Express LRS just uses Crossfire. So I take that back. So until Freedom TX gets rebased, it gets merged into OpenTX, then these radios are only supported by TBS and are missing features, which is disappointing. Double A says OpenTX update should be very soon, right? Yeah, well, you know, OpenTX 2.4 is coming in just 2 weeks. Just like it's been coming in 2 weeks for the last year and a half. MPFPV says OpenTX build is confirmed for the Mambo. Yeah, I have no doubt that the Mambo and the Tango 2 will be supported by OpenTX. They're not today, though, are they? I don't think they are today. What about EdgeTX? Hopefully EdgeTX will support those targets. I hope so. So that always bugs me a little, although hopefully that's coming to an end. With EdgeTX out there doing development, and OpenTX has released 2.3.12 and 2.3.13. Hopefully 2.4 is coming and all this will resolve itself. But the way that TBS usually prefers to develop their stuff is very, very closed off. There definitely have been some contributions of TBS to the community, don't get me wrong. TBS contributed Smart Audio to Betaflight. The Smart Audio code that's in Betaflight, TBS, you know, they wrote that and they donated it to the project. So the fact that we all use Smart Audio, TBS is responsible for that. Kudos to them. The Crossfire protocol, which Express LRS uses to talk to Betaflight, TBS did that. So credit where credit's due. The Crossfire shot in OpenTX, TBS did that. So that being said, they definitely keep their ecosystem somewhat closed, except when it's to their advantage to not do it. And I wonder when the day comes that these radios will be supported. I mean, TBS is going to keep doing development for these radios. When OpenTX supports these radios, is TBS just going to start? Are they going to maintain their Freedom TX fork as their development fork? Nothing wrong with that if they do. It'll just be interesting. Yeah. If the switches and gimbals work in Freedom TX, what else do you need, says Scowler Jace. Well, Scowler Jace, when Immersion RC Ghost came out, I mean, this is still true as far as I know. You can't run Immersion RC Ghost on a Tango 2 because the Tango 2's build of Freedom TX doesn't support the Ghost protocol and can't talk to the module. You could theoretically, I think, do it with PWM output, but that would be stupid. So if you had a Tango 2 and you wanted to try out Ghost, you couldn't do it. That's the kind of thing we're talking about. It's a small example, but it is there. Dominic Clifton says that smart audio is not smart and it's not audio. Well, Dominic, I know you know the story. In case anyone doesn't know the story, the reason it's called smart audio is because the original TBS Unify, hang on, let me pull one up. The original TBS Unify didn't have a data line. So it had only, you can barely see it. It had video, audio, grounded 5 volts. Well, it turns out that the audio line, which was for a microphone, was also connected to a UART on the processor. And if I remember correctly, they would use this at races. The TBS Unify 5.8G and the Unify HV are the same hardware. The Unify is just locked to 200 milliwatts for racing. They would actually like log into this with a serial connection and put in a secret code that would convert the Unify race into Unify HV after people left the race. I heard a story of that once. I don't know if it's true. But the audio line is actually also a data line. And so when smart audio was invented, it was a way of smartly using the audio line as a data line so you could remote control the VTX. I think it's pretty smart. Now, of course, the smarter thing to do is to have a separate data line, which is what the Pro 32, the newer Unifys, do. So, we'll have to see how this comes out. The thing is, here's the thing I have to say about the Mambo. I'll say one more thing about the Mambo before we move on. I love what TBS is doing with their pricing. The Tango 2 could have been priced at $250 and some people would have bought it. And they didn't. They priced it, I think it's $140 for the regular and $160 for the Pro. I'd have to double check that. It's in the $140, $150 price range. Great price because the Tango 2 is a legitimately good radio. Great build quality. You know, it's just a good radio. For $140, if you look at what else is out there, it's absolutely competitive. And now here we have another one, the TBS Mambo. It's got tracer built in. I mean, a tracer module alone might cost you $60, whatever, 60, $65, something. It's not cheap. So to give you, when you could buy a Radio Master, and a Radio Master has a 4-in-1 module, oh boy, I could have Free Sky, ACCST, or Spectrum, or Fly Sky. Oh boy, right? I mean, no offense to anybody out there who flies those protocols, but like, would I rather have Tracer or Crossfire or Ghost or Express LRS? Duh. So to give you Tracer in the radio, I mean, for $140, it's pretty impressive. It's pretty nice. Short Circuits is asking, people are talking about Express LRS and their 500 hertz packet timing and pointing out the fact, so here's the deal. Express LRS 2.4 gigahertz can run at 500 hertz packet rate, but OpenTX will only sample the joysticks at 250 hertz. So every packet is duplicate of the previous packet. What's the point? There is no point. The point is that there is a custom build of OpenTX that samples the sticks at 500 hertz. It's just the release build doesn't do it. So you can download the custom nightly build if you want to, and you get full 500 hertz. In the meantime, you could run at 500 hertz. There's no point. You're right. If you're only sampling the sticks at 250 hertz, you should run the packet rate at 250 hertz. I don't think there's an advantage. OpenTX will eventually run at 500 hertz, but if you're running Express LRS, you're probably no stranger to nightly builds, so just get on with it. Dominic Clifton's working on the Express LRS handset project, which will have native 500 hertz output. Yes. But still, why? Why 500 hertz 661 FPV? I mean, This happens every time something gets faster. People ask why, what's the point? You can't even feel the difference. And usually, so far, it has turned out that it's better. So, there you go. Now, the ethics, people are asking about the ethics version of the Mambo. Let's see if I can find that. Surely I can find it, right? So here's the ethics Mambo. What do they do? So it's, what is it, 149 to 189? 139. So it's $40 more. For $40 more, what do you get? The front fascia is a different color with a more gritty texture for added grip. Sort of built-in grip tape. More rubbery feel to the side grips. Crown jewel stick ends. Red and black silicone switch caps. And an ethics neck strap. Ethics stickers. And a retractable kickstand. So for $40 more, you get that. People are also talking about Mr. Steele's radio. There's been rumors that Mr. Steele is working on a radio of his own. And Trappy said, according to Enema in the chat, nice name, Enema, Trappy said the Ethics Mambo is not the Mr. Steele radio. Bannister Post and others point out that the knob on the Ethics radio goes to 11, which is the most important one. Can a beginner set up Express LRS, asks Chris Hipser. I mean, Chris, I have a tutorial. Chris. You can watch the tutorial and see what you think. There's my Express LRS tutorial, link in the chat. What does the dial do? Aerobrad, it's just a potentiometer. It doesn't do anything. It's just a potentiometer. T-Bird FPV, thank you for a $5 super chat. What are my thoughts on the TBS 69? Here's my thought about the TBS 69. Just for you, Livestream, I'm going to tell you my true thoughts. My first thought when I saw this, my very first thought. So the TBS Crossfire 69 is a combination Unify and Crossfire receiver in one. You got it? It's 20mm mounting. It's got a Crossfire and a Unify Pro 32 in one integrated board. There's also a tracer version. My first thought was, reminds me a lot of the Ghost Hybrid. Ghost Hybrid. 20mm board, built-in receiver, built-in VTX. Now, I think the Crossfire version does 1 watt plus. Am I right? Let's just double check that. Yeah, up to 1 high power analog adjustable video transmitter up to 1 watt with perfect cooling. So maybe not. It doesn't do 1 watt plus. So I don't know whether it will do more output power than the 600 milliwatts of the hybrid. But here's the thing. My thought was, whenever Immersion RC releases a product, the story from the TBS fans is that they ripped off TBS. Tracer came out. Ghost came out. Technically, I'm pretty sure Ghost was released before Tracer. But TBS was working on Tracer years ago. Well, Immersion RC was working on Ghost years ago. Somehow they copied them. Rip-offs. Then the hybrid came out. And now the 69 comes out. Again, somehow, I'm sure it will be spun as they're ripping Crossfire off, even though the hybrid came out first. And also, this is not like that original idea. It's like Free Sky has had boards with integrated receivers forever. So, it doesn't really matter. I think it's kind of stupid. When two similar products come out, like, you copied somebody. Okay, you know what? Look at Drew made a great point, Ladrib. Before he worked for Rotor Riot, he worked for GM and he was an engineer and he made cars. I don't know what specifically he did. And he said, you better believe that when GM releases a new car, Ford buys it and tears it apart, looking for what GM has done and trying to find interesting, clever ideas that they can learn from and steal. It's standard. It's standard in business to study what your competitors do. And if there's something they're doing that you can take advantage of, you do it too. But somehow in FPV, everybody's got this idea that, oh, only one company can ever do anything. Imagine. Sorry, Pepsi. I mean, I'm sorry, Pepsi. It's got to be so tough. Sorry, Pepsi. Coca-Cola came up with the cola. You can't sell cola, Pepsi. RC Cola, get out of here. Oh, diet soda? Nope. Coke did that too. Everybody's stealing from Coke. Stupid. It's stupid. It's just stupid. Only TBS is ever allowed to release a receiver with a Semtech LoRa chipset in it. Whatever the Semtech LoRa FLRC chipset. Oh, no one else can do it, or they're stealing and they're copying. It's so stupid. It's such a stupid, stupid argument. I get a little, like, if you take a quadcopter frame, you literally just put it on a copier, you trace the outline of the carbon plates, and you CNC cut them. I'm like, oh, okay, come on. Really? Like, there's a line somewhere. There's a line somewhere. But people in this hobby are way, way too aggressive about where that line is. It's my opinion. Big Oily Guy, thank you for a $5 super chat. Will the Mambo work with the rotor Risco? No failsafe. I don't know what that phrase means. What's a rotor Risco? Big Oily Guy, I appreciate your super chat. I thank you for your $5. Your question, what is a rotor Risco and no failsafe? It works with Tracer, Big Oily Guy, or any JR module bay. Kyung Kims, thank you for a $5 super chat. Skyzone Sky 04X V2 is real? Sounds like the V1 without all the bugs. Well, hang on. So first of all, the Sky 04X didn't really have bugs. The module, the receiver module firmware had some kinks to work out. I feel like that's been true for all of these. It was true for Rapid Fire, and I feel like that's not, I mean, I hope they solved them, but what is the Sky 04X V2? Is this just, what is it? It's the same, no. I don't know. I don't think this is right. This is not a new product. This is not a new product. This is just the Sky 04X. Unless they're using my video on the V2. What's the difference about the V2? What's the difference? Does it say what the difference is? This is just a listing for the V1. Yeah. It's just, I don't know about that. Pat Warren, thank you for a $10 super chat. I don't see a message from you, Pat, so I wonder if you just wanted to donate or if you just didn't know how to type your question. Matt Rose, thank you for a $10 super chat. Hi, my first ever super chat. Any particular reason you don't have the DJI FPV drone on your shopping list? Oh, my bad. Wrong scene there. Sorry about that, guys. My shopping list is for FPV products. I just don't feel like the DJI FPV drone is an FPV product in the way that I focus on. That's the short answer. It's a different kind of drone. The other thing is you don't really need my shopping list to tell you whether you should get that. Like, my shopping list is like, man, I'm trying to get an FPV. I don't know what to buy. Should I buy these gear? Should I buy this flight controller? And then if you look over, you go, oh, hey, what about that DJI FPV drone? Well, you're just going to go buy it. You don't need me for that. Just go buy it. I mean, I would love to be getting some of those sweet, sweet affiliate dollars, but That's just not what my shopping list is focused on. It's a fine product. I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't flown mine. I flew mine a couple times in the weeks after I got it, and I haven't flown it since. I'm keeping it in case it becomes relevant for a video, or if I need to activate my goggles. But I just rather fly FPV, like real FPV. Mm. Let's see here. Thank you for the super chat, Matt Rose. This is it. This is the time when people need to ask questions. I'm watching. People are talking about the DJI drone. This is your window. Just jump in with a question. Demons FPV says the Revenant frame from Rising Sun deserves a shout out. All right. Let's see what you got. Is it a 7-inch or is it a 5-inch? That's some hot 3D printing, I'll tell you what. Damn, son. That is... Oh, I think I know this guy. Is this guy is like a Blender artist. He's a 3D designer. Yeah. I think I know this guy. I mean, I don't think I know him personally. He does these crazy, crazy designs. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, this is an artist, man. This didn't just get knocked up in Tinkercad, you know? This is a crazy... Is that even 3D printed? I mean, it must be 3D printed, right? It almost looks... I don't see layer lines. Maybe I see layer lines as we zoom in. This is a hell of a print, though. It's a hell of a thing. What a frame. Cyclimbo thinks it's resin. It might be resin. Hard to say. What a frame. I mean, I would definitely want this to be a 7-inch. Because if I crash it, man, I'm going to be crying. What a beautiful frame, though. I'd be afraid to fly it because I would never want to crash it. I mean, you gotta live, right? Nestor Zaharopoulos wants to know my opinion of the ProTech 35 6S. I am firmly in the camp of their... I'm not sure there's an advantage of at the 3-inch size of 6S. There might be an advantage at 4S, and there's definitely an advantage at 5S. I think any advantage to 6S down at the low prop size is minimal. So Anthony Townsend says that frame comes in 5, 6, 7, and 8 inches. So a 6S, I just think I worry that taking a 3.5-inch quad with a toothpick flight controller or a 20mm flight controller going up to 6S, you're just more likely to fry things. And I don't think there's a compelling argument for it. I'm pretty confident that at 3 inches and below, 6S is a waste of time. 3.5 inches and 4 inches, I think, are in the gray area where it might benefit. But I'm really sure, Ciati's agreeing with me here, I'm really sure that on those small ESCs, 6S is going to be way more likely to blow the ESCs. And I'm just not sure it's worth it. The other thing to keep in mind is that the smaller the cell, how am I going to put this? The smaller a cell is, the harder it is to make the cell be like high quality. And that's why really good quality 300 milliamp hour cells are so rare and so expensive. But like a 5,000 milliamp hour cell, it's so big that even if it's got a poor C rate, it still can kind of perform. And somewhere around 850 milliamp hour to 1,000 milliamp hour, anything smaller than that, the 6S versions often perform really badly. And a 4S version of the same watt hours is 4 out of 6 is 2/3, is 1/3 bigger in milliamp hours, right? So you've got a 1,000 milliamp hour 6S or a 1,300 milliamp hour 4S. They're approximately the same watt hours, but the cells on the 4S are bigger. Well, the difference between 1,000 milliamp hours and 1,300 milliamp hours is, whatever. You can make a good 1,000 milliamp hour. But when you're down in the range of, let's say, hang on, let me get my math right here. Let's say you've got an 850 milliamp hour 4S. That equates to a 550-ish milliamp hour 6S. That's a much it's a much smaller cell, and it's likely, I think, to be a much worse quality battery. Now, OGK Kid is pointing out the Diatone 369 was really good on 6S. I reviewed the Diatone GT369. It flew amazing. It was very good. The Diatone 349 was also very, very good and very fast. Nobody flew the Diatone 349 and said, man, damn, this thing, there's so much voltage sag and it's so slow. How could we make it even poppier? So you go to the 369 and the 369 flies good too. But how much better than the 349 did the 369 fly? And I flew the 369. Can I remind you what happened? I blew the ESC in a relatively minor crash. So I think you're making my point. So going back to the question, but ProTech 35 6S, my hot take is that it's marketing. People will buy it. I don't think it's going to be that much better than the 4S, if any at all. And I think it's going to be 50% more likely to blow the ESC. That's my hot take. People are saying the 349 also blows ESCs. Fair enough. Raphael, there may not be any anti-spark XT60s. My question is, why is your quadcopter sparking so much that it's burning up and melting your XT60s? You have a problem. Are you using a Gigongas capacitor, like a 3,000 microfarad capacitor or something? What have you done that you're getting these gigantic sparks? That's the question. Great advice from Dominic Clifton. If you're running 6S, you need a TVS diode. Get a FETTech, what do they call it? FETTech spike absorber or Rush. I think Rush has one as well. No, in Rush. Where's the Rush Blade power filter board? That's not what I'm looking for, is it? It's $7. Maybe it is. Yep, this is it. So there are two things you could get. One is the Rush FPV Rush Blade power filter board. Now this has capacitors and TVS diodes on board. And this is designed to solder to... It solders here, look right here. Great picture. It's designed to solder onto your ESC, just like this. Really clever. So why doesn't the ESC already have it? You sell me 27 cents worth of electronics. Okay, it's a little more than that. You sell me $3 worth of electronics for $7. Rush, why does your ESC not already have this built in? Just wondering. Okay, fine. But you buy this and you solder it up. You solder it on your ESC, or you do however you want. If the FET takes out of stock, this one's in stock and it's got capacitors built in. And if you're running 6S, you just have to have one of these. You have to have one of these. If you're running 6S with just a capacitor, that's better than nothing, but the spike absorber is better. Why is this stuff not done, asks R.C. Ritter. Well, you could make an argument that you could be running that ESC on 4S, in which case the TVS diode is not mandatory. Anyway. So that's why they did it. They kept the price of the ESC down. I mean, what does a TVS diode freaking go for? I mean, honestly. Honestly. What does it even go for? TVS diodes. I don't know. What am I even looking for here? TVS diode. Packaging. Bulk. Fine. I think we'll go active. I don't know what type we want. I don't know how many channels we want. It's having one unidirectional channel. And I don't know. How much voltage do we want? I don't know. What do they sell for? I mean, it's going to be pennies. 0 in stock. Thanks. That's super helpful. I mean, it's got to be pennies. TVS diodes. Just give me a price. Where's the price, you frickin'... There it was. Quantity 1, price 42 cents. Okay? I don't know. They're not expensive, is my point. R.C. Ritter, it shouldn't cost you $5 to get an ESC with spike absorption, because they could buy 10,000 of these things, assuming that the semiconductor shortage hasn't hit them. They could buy 10,000 of them, and I guarantee you the price goes way freaking down. Quantity 1, 42 cents. Quantity 1,000, 13 cents. Okay? So quantity 1,000 for this TVS diode, which I don't even know if it's the right one for our application. 13 cents. They could be putting these on there. Anyway. Dominic Clifton, if he made ESCs, does SP Racing make ESCs? I don't think they do. If he did, they'd have TVS diodes on them, I assure you. Dominic Clifton, SP Racing, one of the only companies to actually correctly put capacitors next to the gyro. The reference design for the gyro chips that we use says that you're supposed to have little teeny capacitors right next to the gyro to filter the power going into them. And most flight control manufacturers don't do it, is what I hear. SP Racing does it. There you go. Jaxie Doggo, thank you for a $5 super chat. You recently helped me in the Betaflight Facebook group to get my first quad flying. Thanks a ton. That's really good to hear, Jaxie. Greetings from Puerto Rico, Drone Zone FPV. I have fond feelings of Puerto Rico. Yeah, Kyle K, like a standard bypass cap. Exactly. I mean, I assume. You have to pay for the PCB, says Durzo FPV. Durzo, my point is you could put the TVS diode right on the ESC instead of making it be an external thing. Morton Upshot, very good question. Does any OpenTX radio support ExpressLRS without a module? And the answer to that is no, as far as I know. Morton, the only radio that might do it is the Jumper T18, which has a built-in 900 megahertz module. But I don't think there's firmware for that. I don't think that firmware exists. There have been, for the record, there have been ESCs and flight controllers out there with TVS diodes and reverse voltage protection. They have existed. They're just not very common. ExpressOS works on LoRa. Yeah, LoRa chipset. But the T18 has the 5-in-1 version of the T18 has that. Kyle K says, if you literally buy one diode, you should post pics of what they send. I mean, I've ordered components off of Mouser and DigiKey before. They just send you, a couple of components in a freaking envelope. That's it. What do you think about the Diatone Roma F5 V2? I think it fixes basically everything that was wrong with the FV1. So I think it's pretty awesome. It's Scully says, why are no TBS products on race day quads? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that talk again. The short version is that TBS doesn't want to sell to race day quads. That's the short version. TBS elects not to sell product to race day quads because they don't like how race day quads runs their business, and they care about that more than they care about making money. How do you store all your props? Asks Timber Bunny. Just in a bag or on a stick? Yeah, in a bag. I have boxes of props, different size props, over on shelves. Big boxes of props. When I get props and they're all in a bag, I just keep them in the bag. I sometimes get bags of props, like 20 bags of props in a bigger bag from manufacturers. I leave them in the bag. I don't take them out of the bag and separate them. And I just stuff some in my backpack when I'm getting ready to fly. Is it because Race Day Quad sells Free Sky? Well, Get FPV sells Free Sky and Crossfire, so that's not the answer. No offense, it goes back to history, and I'm definitely not going to dig into it here on the live stream. It is a long and storied history with many details that are lost to the annals of time. And the last thing I want to do is have people argue about it again, or bring up something incorrect. It's not AKK, Todd Tube. Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it. Everybody thinks they know. I probably don't even know. But people who think that the AKK smart audio, the Mach 1s or Mach 2 smart audio kerfuffle was the reason. It is not that Race Day Quads cloned TBS's frame. That is wrong too. It definitely Race Day Quads put smart audio into the Mach 2, and TBS didn't like that, and that definitely didn't help anybody. But their relationship was bad before then. Race Day Quads didn't clone TBS frame. Race Day Quads released a version of the Source 1. The Source 1 is open source, and it says in the Source 1 license that anybody can release a version of it. So Race Day Quads didn't do anything. It is impossible to clone the Source 1. It is impossible. It's an open source project that anyone may cut. So if you think that Race Day Quads cloned the Source 1, I don't think you understand how the licensing of the Source 1 works. But Race Day Quads listed the Source 1 as the TBS Source 1. And the license says that if you buy the Source 1 from TBS, then you call it the TBS Source 1. If you cut your own, you call it the Race Day Quad Source 1. So Race Day Quads messed up in the naming of the product. And when it was pointed out, they apologized and they fixed it. And basically said, sorry, we thought that you'd be mad if we called it the Race Day Quad Source 1 because we thought you would accuse us of taking credit for your work. So we were just trying to give credit to the creator. But the problem was that people bought the Race Day Quad Source 1, and then when they had problems with it, like they broke an arm or something, they called TBS and they said, according to TBS, we got so many complaints about your crappy product. I don't know if that's true. But Race Day Quads, TBS asked Race Day Quads to not call it the TBS Source 1 so that they wouldn't get customer service calls about it, which was completely valid. But that's not why their relationship was bad long before that, and that's not what caused it. Everybody just remembers there have been so many times when TBS and Race Day Quads have bounced heads. Everybody thinks they get into the hobby, and then the first time they see it happen, they think it's the first time it ever happened. I remember the first time I saw TBS and Race Day Quads butt heads, and in my mind, that's the first time. That was the beginning of the end for them. But it probably wasn't. It probably was earlier even than that. So, anyway. They just don't get along. That's the bottom line. Let's see here. Quadcore wants to know, can you run the DJI V2 goggles with a 2S lithium ion case from Fat Shark? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Pat Warren, thank you for a $5 super chat. When is the Radiomaster TX16S upgrading the touchscreen? Pat Warren, you can have that right now if you download EdgeTX. EdgeTX is a cutting edge build of OpenTX. Now, it's not released and it's not stable. So you are taking some chances if you flash EdgeTX. However, you can flash EdgeTX right now to your Radiomaster and the touchscreen will work. The thing is, Radiomaster is not upgrading the touchscreen. The touchscreen is ready to go. Radiomaster is waiting for OpenTX to support it in software. In OpenTX 2.4, which is over, I think it's, I mean, I remember talking about it when the Nirvana came out, which I think was at least a year and a half ago. So it's not Radiomaster's fault that it doesn't work. It's OpenTX's fault. So you got some late fireworks going off out there if you hear some noises. Let's see. Mikhail Anderson says, I tried EdgeTX. There's lots of bugs and missing text in several places. Yeah. I was going to do a video about EdgeTX, but when I saw the state of EdgeTX, I thought maybe I'm going to wait for like a release candidate. It is very preliminary. It's very preliminary. I say late fireworks because they're leftover from last night. I would not expect FlySky's version of OpenTX to work on the Radiomaster. They're very, very different targets. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think so. When's Betaflight 4.3 coming, says Sync Happens. Good question. Betaflight 4.3, if you go by the 6-month release schedule that they kind of were sticking to for a little while, it should have been around January of this year, and last I checked, it hadn't come out yet, and it's now July. I heard... it was on UAV Tech's video about Betaflight 4.3. He posted a video about some tuning filter settings, trying them out. And he said that it was a couple months out yet. So Betaflight 4.3 is still a ways away. .3 is available in release candidate? I'm surprised to hear that. I'm surprised to hear that. If that's true. No. See, if it was a release candidate, it would be here. Betaflight 4.3 is not available in release candidate. If it was a release candidate, it would be here. Let's check here. So we'll go show unstable releases, release candidate. Nope. 4.3 is not out in release candidate yet. No worry. Will Fat Shark ever make a goggle in good quality like DJI goggle? Says Funny Third. Not going to touch that. Are there any drone stocks? Asks It's Scully. Yep, you can buy Red Cat stock. You can buy Red Cat. Let's see how Red Cat's doing. More about Red Cat Holdings LLC. Red Cat. Oh, it's up a little bit. How long is this? This is just today. How about 1 month? Not that good. 6 months? Nah, not that good. When did they go on the NASDAQ? NASDAQ. I can't spell NASDAQ. When did they go to the NASDAQ? Where there should be a freaking press release. Please, can I have a press release? There we go. May 2021. So that wasn't that long ago. 60 million IPO in April. So it was around April, May. That was not that long ago. There we go. April 2021, May 2021. Oh, no. Not doing so good since they went public. What's this big jump here? Interesting. Oh, gracious. What happened in December? Red Cat just went through the roof. Low prices are buying opportunities. That's true, Aerobrat. It sure ain't selling opportunities. Buy the dip. That's what I learned. Buy the dip. I don't know what that means. I think it has to do with ice cream. They dip the ice cream into the cone. It looks better if you look at the 6 month or the year, the 1 year. Spy Life asks, I have the DJI goggles and I got the analog receiver for it. Can I use it with all analog transmitters? Yeah, all five, you've got a receiver module. It's probably 5.8 gigahertz. And you can use it with any 5.8 gigahertz analog transmitter. Buy the dip. It'll go up soon. Red Cat's actually doing something that feels like a coherent business strategy. So that's cool because that's the first time that's happened, and I don't want to sound there's a mode where a company can be in where they are sort of there's a mode a company can be in where they are laser focused on making one product and making it great. And it feels like if you look at Orca is making these goggles. That's not the only thing they're making. But they knew from day one what they wanted to do with their company. And they have never pivoted away from that. Red Cat, to me, has always felt like it's in this just perpetual pivot. And then one day, we're going to just catch fire and go to the moon. And I actually don't think that's an unviable business model. But it's always confused me. Because when you talk about Red Cat, what does Red Cat do? Oh, man, cryptocurrency. Yeah, we got blockchain. We're going to get your black box logs and put them on the blockchain. What? Yeah. Oh, we're totally doing that. And we're going to make an ARM32 flight controller that does blockchain with black box and... Okay. Oh, hang on. Hang on a second. Actually, you know what? We're doing this help desk website. Now, we're still doing that other thing. Sort of. We're doing this help desk website. Oh, okay. That's cool. You know what? Actually, no. We bought Rotor Riot. Oh. And we bought Lugu Studios. And then suddenly it's like, oh, wait a second. Lugu Studios, Rotor Riot, this other company whose name I always blank on, that has the telepresence, the flying drones over the internet. Oh, hold on. Suddenly, this actually looks like a company with a viable business strategy. You're going to have the simulator for training pilots. You're going to have remote flying of drones so you can, inspect bridges in another state. You're going to have Rotor Riot to, help manufacture and test stuff and maybe help train pilots. There's one other company they bought. Oh, Fat Shark, of course. And you have Fat Shark that's going to make the goggles. Oh, my God. Suddenly, you actually have a business that looks like something that looks like a business. Awesome. You finally found it. Anyway. Do I own shares of Red Cat? I do not. But to be fair, I don't own shares of anything except I have one share. All of my investments, such as they are, most of it's just leftover 401k from back when I had a real job. But all of my investments are in index mutual funds, target retirement date mutual funds, and I just don't even look at them. I own one share of GameStop because I love my wife. That's it. I'm just not that interested in investing. Do I like their balance sheet? I don't know. I wouldn't even begin to know how to read a balance sheet. Jackalope, that's so not my thing. When I say real job, Toady RZ, I mean like a job that has a 401k and health benefits. Red Cat is definitely not a front for DJI, Rasta. Rasta 1979, Red Cat is not a front for DJI. I don't know what that would even mean. Red Cat has, I mean, DJI has sponsored Rotor Riot episodes. And, you know, that's, they say at the beginning of the episode, this episode's sponsored by DJI. But I don't know what it would mean for them to be a front for DJI. They are definitely not in bed with DJI. I mean, why would they have bought Fat Shark? Anyway, Red Cat RC Trucks is completely unrelated to Red Cat Holdings LLC. It's a really unfortunate choice of name. They went into the RC field with a company named Red Cat, and there's already a company named Red Cat there. I kind of don't know how they avoided a trademark dispute. Why has Red Cat RC not told Red Cat Holdings to stop diluting their brand? Oops. Now they're going to do it, and I'm going to get yelled at. But Adam FPV, am I still a Rotor Riot pilot? Yep, I'm still on the Rotor Riot team. I just haven't been traveling to do episodes very much. Buy Fat Shark to shut it down, Timber Bunny says. I mean, that is a thing that happens. I don't think that's happening in this case. Like Alan Evans, didn't Alan just become some Red Cat officer? I mean, I guess if they were going to kill Fat Shark, they would hire Alan away and say, here, come be a Red Cat officer. I don't know about that. That's not my read on it. That's not my read on it. Ori Foxer FPV says, I got a Horus X10 in a trade for some old RC airplanes. Would you use this or the TX16S? I'm running Express LRS. I mean, I had a Horus X10. It's a very, very nice radio. In a way, it's too nice. It's a very nice radio. I didn't keep it. I don't remember what I did with it, whether I sold it or gave it away as a prize or something, but I don't have it anymore. These days, I am soured on FreeSky radios. They're very well-made radios, but FreeSky's approach to its firmware and its customers has sort of pissed me off. So obviously, I run the TX16S. The Horus X10 is a great radio. If you like it, by all means, use it. I would use it with Crossfire, but it's a great radio. It's very well-made. It's got nice gimbals. It's a solid radio. In a way, it was almost too nice. The X10 is so, like, if I drop my TX16S and break a switch, I'm like, crap. But, you know, then I just put a new switch and I get on with my life. The X10 was so freaking nice. I almost felt bad about taking it out. Fine V wants to know my thoughts on using a hard shell like a Pelican case with a little square cutout foam over a backpack to carry quad stuff. Pelican cases, hard cases with cutout foam, are much, much less space efficient than a backpack. And that's why the foam is there. The foam is there to keep your stuff from banging into each other, but you cannot get as much stuff into a custom cut foam case. It looks nice, but it's just a waste of space, and I just can't bring myself to do it. If I had something that I absolutely needed to keep from getting scratched or banged, a hard shell case with foam inserts is the way to do it. But mostly I think those are for display, that you get this experience of opening it up and, oh, there's all your stuff. But honestly, it takes up so much more space. So I go backpack. Does the Horus X10 need a mod to work with Crossfire at full speed? That's a good question. I think it does, but I'm not 100% sure. Aerobrat says, DJI gave Red Cat the money to buy Fat Shark as a hostile takeover. Remember a day at the range. He crossed DJI and got disappeared. DJI plays hardball. Except the Red Cat acquisition of Fat Shark, I believe it was a no cash. It was all shares. So I'm not sure how Fat Shark could have a hostile takeover anyway. Fat Shark is not publicly traded. Was it? I don't think so. Was Fat Shark publicly traded? I don't think it was. No. So how can you do a hostile takeover of a non-public company? I don't know how that works. I don't think that's possible. I know. I know it was just a joke. I'm breaking apart your conspiracy theory. Which is better, the Eachine EV800 or the Fat Shark HDO2? One is a $100 goggle and one is a $500 goggle. So, yeah, the HDO2 had better be better. Thank you, New England FPV, for a $5 super chat. Thank you. We appreciate you, he says. Robert Davis, thanks for a $10 super chat. My 5-inch drone landed in 1 foot of water, totally submerged, and removed power immediately. What should I do? I have a high CFM fan on it now. That's the best. Robert, if it was fresh water, then the only thing you can do is dry it out as quickly as possible. If you had alcohol or distilled water nearby, rinsing it in alcohol or distilled water could be helpful. But if it's fresh water, basically just dry it off as quickly as you can and you'll probably be okay. And I agree that a high flow fan is the right way to dry it off. People say put it in rice, but if you look at actual professional electronics recovery technicians, they use moving air. The moving air dries it better than rice. So, yeah, I think you're doing the right thing. Leave it on the fan for like 3 days so it's surely dried out. And then once you're really sure it's good and dry, like leave it longer than you think to get it good and dry. And then once it's dry, you could power it up and see what happened. It'll probably be fine. Big oily guy, I can't tell if you're trolling me talking about the Rotor Risco. Is this like one of those in-jokes where you say a nonsense phrase, Rotor Risco? I don't know what that is. Yeah, the battery could be fine. It was fresh water. He said he wasn't underwater very long. It could be fine. Food dehydrator works. A high rate fan is going to work great. Why does ExpressLRS not work on some F4 flight controllers, asks MT. Gonna need some more info about that, MT. Any flight controller with a UART, ExpressLRS should work. Because they all support Crossfire, and ExpressLRS just uses Crossfire. Psych Limbo. I don't want to talk about Octoprint. No. Don't bug me about Octoprint. Everybody on my Discord server wants me to install Octoprint. I haven't done it. I've been putting a Hemera extruder on it. And a new main board. And then running a full calibration. Octoprint, just another thing to add complexity. No, I haven't done it yet. Maybe someday. The Rotor Risco is a quad that's out. All right. The F is a Rotor Risco. Really? No, it isn't. It's not. You guys are just fucking trolling me. Pardon my. Octoprint saves you from dealing with SD cards all the time. Yeah, I mean, SD cards aren't that big a deal. Everybody says Octoprint's a game changer. Octoprint's a game changer. It's a game changer. Oh, here's the Rotor Risco. Somebody sent me a link to the. No, 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 no music. Oh man, no music. It's a joke. It's just a joke. Okay. This is the whole joke. Okay. All right, cool. Every time I fly, it's a rotorisco, right, Mad Max? Oh. And my live stream is the next thing suggested. How about that? I didn't want to do Octoprint. Thoughts on Betaflight GPS Rescue, asks for JR Ham. Is it up to your standards for long range yet? No. Betaflight GPS Rescue is incredibly, it's like it's better than Fallen in the Ocean. But I wouldn't actually count on it. If that makes sense. I did talk about the TBS 69 Legendary, Sean. We are 10 minutes to the end of the stream. Aaron Ciotti is going to be streaming at 10 p.m. He's here in the chat, and he's going to start posting the link to his stream. At 10 o'clock, I'll get out of the way and let him do his... some people call it the Bardwell After Show. I wouldn't presume to call it that. But what's wrong with Return to Home? Nothing's wrong with Return to Home, Wes. Betaflight GPS Rescue is just a really poor implementation of Return to Home. Do I like the Hobbywing X-Rotor F7 stack? X-Rotor usually makes good flight controllers. Let's look at their X-Rotor F7. Doing this thing where you've got these ears you can pull off to have either 30 or 20 millimeter mounting. That's cute. Built-in OSD, DJI interface, 5 and 12 volt BEC. That's good. Built-in pit switch. That's nice. Double hole distance down mounting design method, either 30 or 20. The ESC is... Yeah, that's a 20 ESC. Or a 30 ESC. Nice. 5 volt, 1.5 amp, 10 volt, 1.5 amp. I thought it was 12 volt. It said 12 volt above. 10 volt, 1.5 amp is pretty marginal. It better be solid if you're going to run DJI off it. I wish that was 10 volt, 2 amp or more. 10 volt, 1.5 amp. I mean, technically that's 15 watts. And DJI needs 10 watts, but a lot of voltage regulators don't live up to their specs. So I'm a little disappointed that that's not bigger. Where's a frickin' wiring diagram? Or a pinout diagram? No? No? Can't have one? Nope. Oh, can I see the pinout diagram? No. I don't know why I would want to see that on your website, trying to find information about your product. Oh, here we go. Hang on, I got it. Oh yeah, here we go. Perfect. Yes, this is all I need. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. How about it? Yeah. Okay. So if you have a... Hang on a second. I got... Oh, yeah, no, I know. I would check my flight controller just to make sure before I... If you have a flight controller and on your company's product page for the flight controller, there's not a clear pinout diagram and wiring or I don't even need a full wiring diagram because, F you. Watch one of my videos and figure it out. But if there's not like a clear pinout diagram, just get out of here. X-Rotor, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why would you... Oh, it's so good. Look at what it has. Can I see the freaking pinout? No. Okay. Anyway. Details tab. Okay. Oh, hang on. Have I gone off too soon? Oh. Details? Oh. Okay, okay, you're off the hook. Okay. Okay, thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. Manual PDF. Oh, hallelujah. Support page has a manual PDF. Oh, okay. Okay, Hobbywing, I love you again. Okay, I love you again. You're fine. You're fine. Thank you, chat. Whoo, that was close. Boy, that was almost as bad as the time when I made jokes about imperialism. And then a bunch of liberals tried to cancel me. And I was like, I did a big apology video. And then like half the people were like, it sounds like he's learned his lesson. We should forgive him. And half the people were like, what's wrong with you? This was never a problem in the first place. This is what's wrong with America. And half the people were like, I don't think that apology was very sincere. I think we should go burn his house down. And then I had I had all those nudes leak. Which, you know, then there was that brief period where I did OnlyFans. But this was worse. Hobbywing, I apologize. I thought you didn't have a manual, but actually I just couldn't find it. I've learned from this experience. I'm becoming a better person. I'm going to take some time with my family. Me and Ted Cruz are going to Acapulco, actually. We're gonna workshop this, and I'm going to come back a better person. Oh. Alrighty, folks. Cancun. That's where Ted Cruz is going. My bad. How do you do that? Oh, we got 4 minutes left in the stream. Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz. I get it. You had tickets to Cancun. It's just a bad look, Ted. It's a bad look. It's an unforced error. Like, some people would argue that, yes, you can be helping. But even if you stipulate that there was nothing you could do, it's a bad look, Ted. It's a bad look to go to Cancun while your whole state is out of power and people are freezing in their homes. It's a bad look. You needed a private jet, Ted. Okay. That's as political as we're going to get. Okay, well, that's good. That's good. We're gonna wrap up this stream now. Before my do you remember the time when I actually mentioned politics on my stream, and then the whole chat devolved into horribleness? I've learned from that experience, and I'm sorry. It's time to end the stream. Siati, have a great stream. I need to escape before... Jeff Top Gun, thank you for a $10 super chat. Thanks for all your content tuning videos and what you do for the community. And also for that last 5-minute rabbit hole. Spy Life, thanks for a $5 super chat. I built your Kilo 5-inch beginner and built it while watching your videos. Thanks for good FPV and good videos. Nestor Zaharopoulos, thanks for a $5 super chat. Sub 5-inch drone for freestyle and durability. Money not an option, but preferably also thanks for what you're doing. Sub 5-inch drone for freestyle and durability. Money not an option. The Shocker Catalyst Machine Works Shocker 4-inch. Rasta 1979, thanks for a £2 super chat. What's your opinion on DAL 5-inch props? I haven't flown DAL props for a long time, but DAL Cyclone were pretty good props once upon a time. DAL Cyclone are no longer as much cheaper as they used to be, and so I think for the price there are better props out there now. Thank you, New England FPV, for $5 super chat. Thank you. We appreciate you. We are caught up on super chats, and now I'm going to get out of here before the chat devolves into political discussion. Ciati, have fun. And Ciati, you can badmouth Ted Cruz all you want, but I'm going to leave. Good night, everybody. Have a great stream, Ciati.